on this grand final eve edition of Triple M Breakfast with Rosie, Wil and Daisy. Joining us in the studio is a friend of ours, a colleague, former Western Bulldogs superstar, Wil Anderson.
Now father of Western Bulldogs superstar. That's now his official
Father of Nepo baby.
Oh, let's hear some Das.
He's shifted forward and spills to Elliott. Here's another one. Jamie Elliott kicks the goal. Elliott's got two. This game's over, Howie. I've called it. You've done Rex. It's all over.
Get the boy off, Judge. Get the boy off.
I'm going to go home. He's lost it. It's over, Howie.
Oh, Luke Darcy, you'll be calling the 2024 AFL Grand Final for Triple M Footy this Saturday.
Hello, Rosie. Go
Hello,
Wil.
welcome to the
G'day,
studio.
Daisy. That sounds like a lot of fun, Rosie.
What's going on?
Might have second thoughts after that.
What is
Daisy.
happening?
That sound like,
when you say second thoughts,
what are you
talking
talking about?
And is this the time to break your silence?
I'm ready to break my silence, Daisy.
Okay.
So that will be on Saturday, the last game I call on Triple M, and finishing up on Channel 7 as well, Wil, which is exciting. But I'm having second thoughts now that I remember how much fun that is. And you listen back to that and you think it's a great privilege to have been able to sit in that chair and to sit in here, Rosie, with you for 11 years and for Wil for a long period of time. So you feel very lucky to have been able to not work, really, Daisy.
And to hear you with the preliminary final when the Bulldogs finally got into the grand final. I've never heard you emotional. That was a big moment for me.
Was it you that said I was born without tear ducts, or someone said that at one point in time?
We even bought a bowl of onions and put them in front of you. No, it didn't
work.
work.
They worked on that day on the prelim final. It was emotions right at the surface on that day. That was amazing.
Tell us about calling the AFL Grand Final and what that is actually like.
Well, I still feel every time I drive into the MCG as someone that came over here as a 17-year-old, you don't know if you're going to last a week or, a month or a year. To still be going to the best stadium in the world, the best game in the world, I just feel grateful. And I actually stop for a minute in the car park and remind myself how lucky you are to still be doing it. And so, to sit there again with the idiots from the Friday huddle on grand final day who are lifelong mates, and we had so much fun. It's just such a privilege to be able to do it. And life's a bit about timing, so you're trying to exit at a time that suits, but I will savour every bit of grand final day.
Is there a moment when you hear that back that you remember so vividly, like a favourite moment?
Well, I think not really. I might need a brain scan, I think, Darcy, because I don't remember a lot. And then it comes back and I go, geez, that was awesome. That buddy goal, with Cale Hooker chasing him. And, there's so many moments, isn't there? We sit there and I marvel at the modern player. This final series, we've seen three of the best finals I've ever seen. Isaac Heaney's game in that first final when they were 28 points down, what he did is maybe the best finals performance I've ever seen. I genuinely, I know this sounds very cheesy, Rosie, I love watching it. Still admire the current players. It's such a hard game to play. I think the game's never been in better shape, so it's a nice time for me to move on.
And Darcy, you say you can't remember some of the things, so the good news is stick around, because we've dug through the archives and we've given you the real rev up of the nice
Everything's
stuff.
fine, Luke. Everything's fine. This is Triple M Breakfast. Rosie, Wil, Daisy. In the studio with us is Luke Darcy, who's just officially announced that he's hanging up the headphones. Or you hang up a microphone. Which do you hang up? I don't know. You're not going to be broadcasting anymore with us at Triple M or Channel 7 after the grand final on Saturday.
Correct, Rosie.
It's been a brilliant career.
Very kind of you, Rosie.
And no doubt one thing you are going to miss is the fact that when you come into a studio in an environment like this, when people are having a little whisper and you're not included, the anxiety that comes along with it and the fear and scared nature that you do then overtake with the fact that you're going to get stitched up.
And the data that was happening to me more and more often, Daisy, in the last 12 months. So perhaps there was a sign that it was
Daisy,
my time.
Let's start with some nice stuff. Firstly,
Okay.
You might not be aware of this, but Paris Hilton. Do you know who Paris Hilton is?
I do know who.
Very famous.
Rob Mills's girlfriend.
Well, Paris Hilton, when she was out in Australia, actually saw a poster of Das, and this is how she reacted.
Had so much fun with everyone today, especially you, Fifi. He's cute. Who's that?
Paris Hilton thought Das was cute.
She's only human.
There's not many regrets. That's a missed opportunity, I feel, Rosie. If I had my time again, I'm sure Beck would be all clear.
Oh, yeah, she'd be fine.
I would have, anyway.
So there was
got
obviously
away.
that. That was pretty great. Das went to school with a whole bunch of famous people as well. John Aloisi, very famously, of course. She went to school with
Great
John.
man, Johnny.
And, of course, who was the other person who went to school?
Well, you mightn't have heard this story, Wil, but Paul Kelly went to my school.
Yeah.
Ah.
Not the
Kelly.
footballer.
No,
Paul
the
Kelly.
famous Australian musician
okay.
Paul
He
Kelly.
loves
Not the
it
finance
when I bring
writer.
it up too.
Yeah.
He loves gravy.
And so you'd think, well, he does love gravy, and you'd think
every
that Darcy
Christmas.
would actually know what his name was.
A couple of great concerts we're going to send you off to, including this one, the Paul Gravy. Forgot that as well.
Say that again.
Oh, there was just that little moment too.
You might have also forgotten when we had Curtis Stone on
Mm.
the Hot Breakfast. Do you remember this? And he was promoting a particular type of mince, and you had a very insightful question
remember
for
this.
Curtis.
And it's made with the Cook with Curtis, fabulous mince. How do we find this at Coles, please, Curtis?
You just go over to the meat counter, mate. and have it done.
It could happen to anyone.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know where the fruit and veg is?
Sometimes the obvious question's the right question.
You're also famous for this.
I was a freckle man myself.
We found recently that Nathan Brown was too, which is a weird coincidence. We need to take a break and check the traffic. But more with Luke Darcy after this. The live site starts at 8 a.m. with Dangerous Dave. Then at 10 o'clock, it's Dead Set Legends. 12 o'clock, it's a Saturday rub. Then at 2 o'clock, it is the actual game led by Luke Darcy. He'll be calling his final game of footy.
And I'm going to make it all about me, Rosie.
I bet you will.
If I can on the
I'm
last
sure you
Paying
will.
corns, a couple of drive-bys
Oh.
on the way out.
That sounds positive. Yeah. Absolutely.
I
No,
mean, that's not why you're leaving, because that was reported
That was the
during the
slant,
week.
yeah.
that one's
Hang on.
escalated a little bit,
Yeah.
hasn't it?
That
but-
isn't the reason, because that's what I assumed.
Really?
Yeah.
That,
Friday night he was on the huddle, and then the next day you're
Oh,
announcing.
got me again.
Yeah.
No, I've dedicated maybe a little too much time on that conversation, but I'll refer back to. There's so much to celebrate in our game. I genuinely love it. Feel very privileged to have been part of it, and overall, you can't have a better experience than being able to do that for a job.
And not just that as well. Sorry, Will. You've done other sports as well. Got to cover Commonwealth Games.
Yeah,
Well,
and-
Commonwealth
with the
Games
hot
is
breakfast,
Yeah.
you were
Yeah.
sent around the world on various assignments.
And the
Rio,
great-
we went
great-
to.
yeah,
and
that was brilliant.
The great
Rosie.
thing about Darcy is he's always a very professional broadcaster, would never present himself in anything but the perfect
Yep.
shape.
Might have got caught out on this one. This one I do remember.
2010 was the year. It was the Commonwealth Games where?
In Delhi.
Yeah, so Luke had told us that he was unavailable.
Not unavailable to be contacted,
Yeah.
right, Darcy?
But-
I was snowed under over there, it's fair to
Yeah.
say.
Okay, but
working
we
hard.
had Liz Ellis on who filled your space to talk about the netball match that had happened just previously. And she went, oh, no, Luke's here. I'll hand over the phone.
Might have had a
Let's have a
couple at that
listen.
stage, Rosie.
Look, Darcy joins us on the line, just having a few frothies, mate.
Good morning, team over there, and that background music in here, that's the sound of my room. I can't get it turned off at all. I'm snowed under here, guys. It's been a big complete. Haven't been able to do anything but work flat out, so they
Flat
happy
out,
to
you
get up
say?
to you guys at any stage.
Flat out at the bar, it sounds like.
Say that again. Well, you're locked out of your room.
Slur that again.
Locked out of your room. That was your
was
excuse.
disturbing when the phone got handed to me. Well, I did get a message yesterday from Chris Judd. He said, my memory of you is Australia's favourite netball commentator. His take, and that was an extraordinary experience, actually. I had a month in Delhi and had a great time, and she was great fun to work with.
What comes now for Luke Darcy? Where are you off to? Are you allowed to divulge in this big silence breaking that you're doing?
Well, I'm excited, Daisy. I've been working towards this for a while, to be honest with you, and number of spaces. We started this leadership business called A Leader about 10 years ago. That's getting some great traction. I love spending time in that, and that's I record the podcast attached to that, so I'm looking forward to having some more time to do that. Be up at Sukhavati, Bali. How many bucks can I get away here,
No,
Daisy?
get them all out.
Get them all out. This is the time.
The flexibility will to not be working for someone else has always appealed to me. So all of the stuff you can say, maybe want to go up on a Sunday, come back on a Friday, have that time, or sit in the footy and watch without having to think about broadcasting. So I feel very lucky to be able to make those decisions, and kids are growing up now, so I've got a bit more space at home as well.
And obviously, your son Sam is playing for the Bulldogs and doing incredibly well. I think when you've been, you're on the Bulldogs board, but you're also been in the media. It's fair to say you haven't shown a lot of emotion when you're watching Sam play the game. Will that change?
Punch
Do you think
some
you'll
walls,
become
Darcy.
more
now.
active?
Come on.
String someone up by the neck.
I got told off on the final. I might have thought the words I was saying were in my head, but a few of them were coming out, and I got a bit of feedback from Beck in the final. The emotion of the way that game was unfolding might have got the better of me. But that has been, I've found that hard this year. I have. It felt compromised, and I'm always acutely aware that it's his time and not wanting to be in his space, and it is a beautiful thing to be able to watch any of your kids play sport. So that will be fun, being able to do that, and I'm sure Daisy and the crew will look after me if they pander me in the crowd.
Is there a chance you could pass this on to Peter Dacos?
Oh, yeah.
just at any stage?
Oh, I'd love to see you do a Dacos style pivot.
Do you reckon I can go?
Oh, you'll be roaming
Will is-
Brian.
Will
You'll
is
say
Hill
something
Hotel.
inappropriate.
I might just get loose in this next chapter, Rosie.
Yeah.
But I love Dakes. I love it. But it's just burning on the inside would be. It's a nerve-wracking thing to sit there and watch him play. But it will be a lot of fun.
It weirdly feels like a valet. It's not. We will see you again
Yes.
probably next week. But, congratulations on a wonderful career.
Huge career.
With us at Triple M and Channel 7
Here at
and
Triple
Channel
M,
10.
you've been such a incredible part of this network, both the footy coverage, but also all those years on the Hot Breakfast. Like, this station owes you a lot, and you've been enormous for it. And you know that you are welcome in these doors at any time.
Anytime.
Well, I actually thought about that. I do need to use the studio from time to time, so I probably should have negotiated that before I left.
I'll
but,
sort the bookings for you. It's
Very
all good.
kind, Will, and look, I love seeing what Daisy's doing now, and there's just great people everywhere in this industry. Rosie had an incredible time with you for 11
really
years,
was,
and
yeah.
feel very, very fortunate. So it won't disappear too far.
Is that a tear?
Oh, please.
Sorry, pollen again.
Mick Malloy was also a part of that breakfast journey along with Eddie Maguire. Mick might have put Darcy in the studio once and lied to him and said, "Don't worry, mate, I'll auto-tune it
How often
and
did
everything
I
will
get
be
stitched
fine."
up by that man?
For the final time.
Oh,
We're not, are we?
Yep.
Lost and insecure. You found me lying on the floor. Surrounded, why'd you have to wait?
Actually worse than I remember.
Where were you just a little way?
Wait for this bit.
Oh, it's still going.
You found me.
That's my favourite bit.
That is a very naive young man there who had no idea what was coming his way.
you've silently dropped the magic too, which is a good
On
thing.
air then,
been
yeah.
nailed it.
Okay.
That's fine.
He's
Clip
done
that
enough.
up, Christian, for the socials.
I'm out.
Thank you, Luke.
Thanks, Rosie.
All right, bye.
Thanks, Will. Thanks, Dave.